interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Bam. The 5th episode of the Quantum Leap Revival series is upon us. This one's called Salvation or Bust. Salvation or Bust takes Ben all the way back to the Wild Wild West in the year 1879, jumping into the body of an elderly gunslinger who has to take on the local bad guy. Meanwhile, Magic, Jen, Ian, they all attempt to throw suspicion off of themselves as a mysterious government official comes asking questions about the Quantum Leap project. This video is probably going to be a little bit shorter than the others because as a general consensus with this episode, it seems to be the most episodic and the most throwaway out of all of the episodes, at least for me. Did I enjoy it? Yes, but it doesn't seem to have that big of an impact for the rest of the series except for the final moments of the episode, which I'll get into. Majority of this episode was the Wild Wild West, and the biggest takeaway of that is that it takes place in 1879, which of course is like almost 200 years ago, which of course is Ben jumping out of his own time stream again, but a lot more than he did in the past. And while he's this gunslinger, he has to figure out how to complete the mission when he himself hates guns. Because he's kind of a pacifist, you know? All these other missions has to do with him saving somebody, not killing somebody like with a gunslinger. And obviously in the Old West, what do you have? You have a good guy, you got a bad guy, and they have to duel it out, which is basically what you have in this episode. On the modern day stuff with the scientists trying to throw suspicion off of themselves with this government official, again, it doesn't seem all that relevant for the rest of the series except for what happens, which is basically they promise this government official who had a brother that died in the past that maybe in the eventual future Ben will be able to jump to that year and stop that accident from happening, thus saving her brother. They do this so that she doesn't shut down the project. Will this come up again in the future? I don't know, it may be. But really, the main thing that I want to talk about with this episode is the very end of the episode, right before Ben leaps. And for the first time, we don't actually see what he leaps into, but I digress. Right before he does it, there's this guy that approaches him in the Wild West. He knows that he's Ben's song from the year 2022 and warns him to stop following him. And then of course Ben leaps. I don't know what that means. I don't know who that man is and where the series is going anymore because that was pretty big. He could either be Janice, who has leapt into that body, or Sam Beckett, who's still jumping from body to body and keeps just running into Ben, or it could be the Evil Leaper arc, which you guys keep talking about in my comments. I had to do a little bit of research to find out what this Evil Leaper arc was because I couldn't remember from the old series. But essentially, it was the same thing as Sam and Al, but everything's evil. So while Sam and Al are trying to either save the world or save individuals in the world during these events and make things right, the Evil Leapers are doing the exact opposite. They're trying to make sure that the history isn't corrected, that bad things happen. And nobody knows where the Evil Leapers come from. There are a couple of theories, of course. There's the theory that they come from the distant future because Al said that the only project that's in existence that has to do with time travel and leaping is Quantum Leap. So they're saying if there's another project that does the same thing, then it would have to be in the distant future. We are now in 2022, like 30 years after the original series. Are we now in the realm of the actual Evil Leaper arc? Is that what's going on here with Janice in her version of the hologram room or her version of the Quantum Leap project? Is that what's going on with her? Is she this weird guy that he met? The other theory of where the Evil Leapers came from was hell, that they are evil because they come from hell. And there's actual reason why to believe that because in the original series you actually had like the devil show up and things of the nature. There's no reason to currently believe that this series will do the same thing. Could it? Yes. So now we have new theories about who this guy was. Is it Janice? Is it Sam? Is it an Evil Leaper? Is it a combination of the two? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below because I'm really curious on what you think's going on here. Because could it be the Evil Leaper arc? It could be. If they keep jumping to the same stories, and this guy's mad at Ben for rectifying the bad things that happen, that could absolutely be an Evil Leaper. You guys thought that Janice was creating the Evil Leaper arc. is that Janice? If it is, then why is she mad at Ben, who she was working with in the first place? I need you guys' theory in the comments because honestly I'm a little bit blown away by the end of this episode, but the rest of the episode I figured was just, pretty run-of-the-mill. It had to happen in order for the end of the episode to happen, but the rest of it was just like, it's a average episode at best. I enjoyed it for what it was, but the end, that's all I got. Leave your comments in the comment section down below and I'll get to them probably in the next video, and until then guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell to be notified when I come out with my next Quantum Leap review. And until then, peace out.